What's up, sassy gamers, and welcome to another episode of Got Our Attention podcast. This is season 2, episode 2, and I'm here with the usual suspects, I guess. We got Brian, Bruno, and Kelly. Welcome to the show.
You're not sure that you're here with us.
I don't know if you guys are the usual suspects, but I'm here with you guys. At least you told me. I don't know. You could be like deep faked. You guys could be deep faked. I don't know.
Or we could be
that's
like
true. That is very
a
true.
skinwalker of sorts. Somebody's taking our skin and just wearing it. Yeah.
We could be deep fucked.
We are among you.
Wearing your skin as a suit.
This is definitely giving me Buffalo Bill vibes.
Personally, with the Halloween, but I figured that would be like right up your alley. Like you'd feel
Buffalo Bill. He's like,
about
it puts the lotion
stuff
on, or it gets the hose again. You know.
Yes.
He was making a skin suit.
Okay.
I'm with you, Kelly. I know exactly what you're talking about.
There are deeper and darker parts of the internet that I am not aware of.
No.
What? The internet's a movie.
What?
Silence of the Lambs.
You were giving me crap for not knowing what was it?
Goldschlager.
Goldschlager is, but then you're lost on this reference. It's a good thing you don't play trivia. Let me just tell you that. All right.
I mean, I've never said that.
Because Kelly would
never said I was awesome.
I would fucking destroy your ass.
I never said I was good at trivia.
Wow. Wait. Whoa, Kelly. We were talking about trivia, not you pegging him.
Yeah. And speaking of that, our last trivia, if you guys didn't attend, Kelly did win by the skin of her teeth. If we get to keep it on the same.
Literally the skin of my freaking teeth.
I don't believe that. That was a full blown win. That was a full blown win.
It was a last ditch effort, and I got it, and I beat Bruno, and it is a one and only. It's a lifetime opportunity. This is never going to happen again. I was so excited. I almost woke up my children. They sleep soundly, so I was fine. But I was like,
you're going to pee yourself.
I almost did. I almost peed myself. Almost peed my pants.
I mean, I was just,
but she's gonna win from now on. All right, the torch has been passed.
I appreciate.
I was already
that.
thinking
really
about renaming trivia to like, "Are you smarter than a Canadian?" or Canadian, because like I felt like Bruno was just winning. It didn't matter what category I put up there. It could be like U.S. politics, and like he would just win it.
I gotta say,
which is fair.
Who was it that you chose? Was it Sandra Bullock? No,
Julia Roberts.
That was
Julia Roberts.
Yes.
Useless. I was like, I didn't even know the difference just now. Like, which one is it, Sandra Bullock or Julia Roberts? In my brain, they're practically the same person.
Wow. Yeah, it was fun. But yeah, we play trivia on bi-weekly every other Tuesday. So if you want to check our website and stuff, you can find information on how to join us. But it's a good time. We have a blast. It's less than like an hour. I mean, it's not too long, and you can play on your phone, so it's real easy to jump in and jump out. But yeah, this week's winner was Kelly. So congrats to Kelly on that one.
Thank you.
So since this is just whack, let's just pass it to you, Kelly. I think you have something you want to tell us about. You haven't done this in a while, I guess.
I do. I'm gonna bring back a Kelly's Corner. So we have talked a lot about the Mandela Effect on like randomly during the podcast. Or have we? So the Mandela Effect, if you're new to the podcast or just don't know, the Mandela Effect is this sensation of knowing that something has already happened and something is true. And then finding out that your memory or recollection of that thing or event is not true.
Wait, that's not the Mandela Effect. That's the Streisand Effect.
No. So the Mandela,
which is actually a real thing, by the way.
It is. That'll be another Kelly's Corner.
Yeah.
The Mandela Effect got its name because there was a collective group who was certain that Nelson Mandela died in prison in 1980. But Nelson Mandela was released from prison, became president of South Africa in 1994, left office in 1999, and then actually did die in 2013. But there is a group of people who are like, I remember this. So one of the things that we've talked about a lot is it the Berenstein Bears or the Berenstain Bears? People in my generation, we've always called it the Berenstein Bears. If you showed me a book of the Berenstein, written by a Berenstein Bears book, and it says the Berenstein Bears in the writing that is on the top of every single book, and put the Berenstain Bears, I'm like, that's wrong. That's not correct. It was the Berenstein Bears. So I'm not alone in this. Like I said, we've talked about this a lot, but I did some research and I came up with what I thought were some of my favorite, at least, Mandela Effect examples. Yes. One thing that people do say about the Mandela Effect is like quantum physicists, not all quantum physicists, very small sect, but lots of conspiracy theorists. And I love conspiracy theories. I'm not a conspiracy theorist. I just love hearing and reading about them. Say that the Mandela Effect is proof of parallel dimensions. So something split off. Oh, we've come back together. Berenstain Bears.
Duck, duck, deuce. Duck, duck, gray duck.
Exactly. Duck, duck, deuce.
Duck, duck, gray deuce.
It's not gray goose. It's duck, duck, gray duck.
It's duck, duck, goose. Duck. You said duck, duck, deuce, though. Did anybody else
duck, duck, goose. Duck, duck, gray duck.
We'll rewind that and we'll talk about it.
It sounded like deuce, but I'll take it either way.
Yeah, whatever. All right. So
Mandela Effect right there.
I don't even know what duck, duck.
Exactly.
Like, what is duck, duck, gray goose? I don't know.
Gray duck.
Gray duck.
Oh,
okay.
Yeah.
Great duck.
That's what they call it
thing.
in Minnesota. In Minnesota, they do duck, duck, gray duck.
Canada.
Duck, duck, gray duck.
See,
South
it's,
Canada.
Duck, duck,
it's definitely
goose.
duck, duck, goose in Canada. So I'm pretty sure that's not a Mandela Effect thing. That's just a Minnesota is fucking weird thing.
No, they're from a parallel universe.
Are they?
Well, send them back.
Oh, shit.
Go back to your home.
Go back to your own dimension. Now we're
All
getting
right.
somewhere.
So one thing that I ran across initially, I know that Bruno's partner is a huge Pikachu fan. Pikachu.
Is she?
But is she?
She's only got like a few dozen.
Just a couple. Just a
few
dozen. So Pikachu's tail. Can you just really quickly, Bruno, describe Pikachu's tail?
I don't know. It's like,
I'll ask you.
It's like a yellow lightning bolt.
Does it?
yeah.
It's does it or does it not have black at the tip?
I don't think it has black in the tip. I think it's all
I
yellow.
don't think
Does
so.
I thought.
Mandela Effect. It does not.
It doesn't.
It does not. All right, so that's good. Did anybody on this podcast ever use Febreze?
Yes.
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 Stop typing. I hear somebody typing.
I was typing Pikachu because I wanted to see Pikachu's thing. All right?
Okay.
Leave me alone.
Febreze. Can somebody spell Febreze for me without typing it
it's
first?
like, okay, it doesn't matter about Mandela Effect. You know I can't
Febreze,
spell.
right?
Yeah, same. I can make up some stuff though. I probably couldn't
Okay.
say Febreze.
I would
So-
believe whatever the spelling is.
I saw during my research Febreze spelled Febreeze.
With two E's?
It does not have two E's. It only
Okay.
has one.
Oh, weird.
Yeah.
Wouldn't be able to
That
tell
was
you.
like breeze.
Does
like
it only have one? Okay. But I think the thing came from breeze. Like breeze is Breze.
Yeah,
right?
like the breeze outside. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
what I would have thought.
but-
So
Yes, and so we think that's where it came from. Hold on. I'll start with the easy one. Y'all love Star Wars, right? Everybody on the podcast at least likes Star Wars. I'm getting nothing.
I hate Star Wars. It's absolutely the worst. I honestly,
sure
I
you
can't
love Star Wars more than anybody on this podcast.
Can't fathom like piece of shit.
The line, "Luke, I am your father." It's not. That never actually is stated anywhere. It is, "No, I am your father." Yeah. That is a common misconception. People, I have repeated that phrase over and over and over again. That phrase has been repeated in movies. It's not, "Luke, I am your father." It's, "No, I am your father."
Yeah, that's like the "play it again, Sam."
Yeah.
Which was never said.
Yes. Yes. I did run across that one, but you were the only one on the podcast that I know that would know that one. So kudos to you, sir. So y'all remember R2D2?
Yes.
Yeah, rolling around with this.
He was the tall golden one.
The tall golden one with
that one.
Yeah, with the tall golden one
with one eye.
So C3PO, his friend, the all gold guy, right? No, C3PO has one silver leg.
Oh yeah, for sure. Right. I knew that one.
Okay. Well, that's another Mandela effect. So in Jaws, Roy Schneider's character is like chumming the water and he finally sees Jaws for the very first time. What does he say?
Everyone thinks he says, "We need a bigger boat."
We're going to need a bigger boat. But what does he actually say?
I wish I had a bigger boat.
No.
You're going to need a bigger boat. I have said that phrase over and over and over again.
Oh, yeah.
We're going to need a bigger boat. Let's see. I'm going to save that one for last. Who's the guy who's the character who has told us that we need to be very careful about wildfires? Wildfires start.
You're going for Smokey the Bear.
No, I'm talking about Smokey Bear.
Mm-hmm.
He's not Smokey the Bear. He's Smokey Bear.
Oh, weird.
And then the very last one. Did you guys ever see the Golden Girls?
Yes.
No.
I have seen some. Yes.
Okay.
I've seen some Golden Girls. They spun me right round as they went up and down on the poles like stripper booties do.
So
okay.
There is a
Golden Girls, not Golden Showers.
Yes.
No. That comes later.
There's in prison.
Episode of
What was that? God. Too soon? I know it's only been 24
he's not
hours.
In prison yet.
He's on his way, right?
He's on his way.
It's like express delivery. They like probably use like a reputable delivery service like DHL or something.
DHL? I was gonna say.
Sorry about that, Kelly.
He doesn't really deserve it. It should be USPS, but whatever. We'll let him have it.
If it was DHL, they'd deliver him after his sentence was done.
Wow.
So,
he'd have a worse
in the Golden Girls, Betty White's character is very excited because Ed McMahon is coming and he's going to give her a big check. Everybody, at least my age and older, knew Publishers Clearinghouse. That was a big freaking deal.
Mm-hmm.
Do you guys know Ed McMahon?
Yeah. Yes. His face was supposed to be on the envelopes.
I don't know him.
Yes. And he gave out these big checks. Except Ed McMahon, one, never gave out a big check, never walked up to anybody's door. Even the Golden Girls episode was like, he's going to come to my house and give me a big check. I won the Publishers Clearinghouse. One, he never once came to somebody's door with a big check. And two, Ed McMahon never worked for Publishers Clearinghouse. Mandela Effect. I feel like there should be like sparkly glitter and wavy, like trippy lights. So that's your Mandela Effect.
A lot of these sound like the originals weren't good enough, and we just like supplemented good shit into them.
Oh
like,
that's
Smokey Bear sounds way worse than Smokey the Bear.
Well, he just sounds like he's getting high all the time.
The Pikachu one kind of
I'm Smokey Bear, come on over. It's like, nah,
Who
man.
do you
the Pikachu one kind of makes sense, right?
The
because
Pikachu
with Pikachu,
one, his
he
ears,
has the ears, so like kind of makes sense why people would mistake that. C3PO, nobody cares. I mean, like,
either that or the mega nerds are too much into the entire series, and they know that canonically they fit that in with why he has a silver leg.
Spaceballs existed. It had a robot like C3PO, but it was a female robot instead. If that counts. And she was all gold, and Spaceballs was way cooler than Star Wars ever was. Because Star Wars sucks, so.
Shut up.
There's the guy with the Star Destroyer.
All the Star Wars stuff.
I didn't say the Empire sucked. I said Star Wars sucks.
Well.
And the lightsaber, and the BB-8, and the... I could probably go on and on.
Do we need to
he actually has active droids at his house that he can drive around.
There's one like right back there. It's actually an evil Empire droid. It has like the chip in it to make it sound evil. It's great.
Oh.
Savannah's is over there. It makes nice noises, so we don't care about it.
Well, that's crazy because a lot of those are pretty wild. But no, the Mandela Effect's pretty wild. Actually, I sent Phoenix a picture, and hopefully he'll display it as well. Based on the Bernstein bears, because someone actually on Reddit posted recently that they went to, I think, their significant other's attic or something, and found a box, or maybe his parents' house, and they found a box of like these old VHS tapes of like back from his childhood, and he has both copies, two different episodes from the same company. And they're spelled differently on both VHSs.
What?
Mm-hmm. So, yeah. So, like, that just adds to the confusion at that, which is pretty wild. So,
yes.
Anyway.
My favorite one was always the Shazam one, but whatever.
Yeah, I was going to bring that one up. Yeah, so...
it's fine.
Yeah, we'll just...
Everybody knows about it. It's old news.
I don't know.
Shazam, Cedric the Entertainer. What is the Mandela Effect, I believe, on that one?
What?
No, not Cedric.
No,
the
Sinbad.
Or no, not Sinbad.
Sinbad plays Shazam, but it never actually happened.
Yeah.
Well, there's also the one with Shaq.
No, that's why people think of that. There's a movie called Kazam.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. Where Shaq was a genie. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, weird.
Yeah.
Well, from Kelly's Corner, we've got Callback Corner. Just kind of some things like, okay, so tell me if you remember this one.
I like Kelly's Corner better, but
Callback Corner sounds like
we'll work on that one.
Yeah, like whatever. What kind of callback? It's fine.
Callback to stuff that we've talked about before. Tell me if you remember this one. Do you remember when we talked about Bungie was issuing a whole bunch of DMCA takedown orders, and it destroyed a whole bunch of the fans' YouTube sites, and then they kind of found out that it was due to they were faked.
Yeah,
they were faked because YouTube's DMCA takedown is really easy to fake out. Right? You remember all that?
I remember that.
I do.
It was not a Mandela Effect.
Just kidding. We never actually talked about this.
Well, apparently Bungie has been Nancy Drewing the ever-loving shit out of this. And they found out who the person is, and they're suing them for over $7.6 million.
Oh, yeah.
Hallelujah.
This is probably the nerdiest story I've heard in the sense of like forensic files or something, like where you're trying to like figure out the mystery. Like I was reading this going like, this is cool, but like it's not. I don't know.
There is that side of it that's nerdy forensic, and then there's other side of it that's totally soap opera. So why don't you take a crack at? Do you want to take a crack at the nerdy forensic, and then I'll jump into the soap opera?
Yeah, sure. So as he said, that story happened, and Bungie wasn't done there. They were like, we need to find out who these people are, who this person is, whatever. So they start going down this rabbit hole with Google, saying, hey, like, we need to have evidence provided to us. You need to give up. I think they issued a subpoena and was like, hey, we need to have documentation on this user and blah, 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 blah. And Google kind of fought with that for a little bit, and then eventually decided that they're just going to turn over 2 of the accounts, email addresses that were used to submit the claims of the DMCA strike down or takedowns. And by doing that, they also provided the IP address. And I say IP address because it was one IP address used for both separate email accounts that were used to submit these DMCAs. And they even said specifically in their logs, they saw one log out, and within a minute later, the next one logged in.
A second later.
So literally log out, log back in, and sent another DMCA claim. So that happened. And usually right there, they're kind of like, all right, there's already proof. Like, it's the one person. Yeah. Here's obviously it's not legit. But they went a step further because they were all like going Bruno on this. They were like, we're not going to just stop there. Like, we're going to want Bruno. Everything. They went
full on Bruno. There's more.
So even with that, they decided that they would need to. Oh, did I cut out for a second there? Was I?
Yeah, you did. Go ahead.
Go ahead. Froze perfectly. You're back. Amazing.
Perfect. So they from there decided that they need to try to piece this together. How can they figure out who this person or these people are? Because they still only had like email addresses at this point, an IP address. So they start digging into it a little further. And with those email addresses that they found in their own, like, I guess, database, these email addresses tied to buying copies of the original soundtrack of Destiny 2. And then
because that's a physical item, it was sent to a physical address. That physical address was in the same city that IP address is in.
So they were like, let's take this a step further. And then they kept digging and digging and digging. And basically it came down to the point where, and Brian has more to say on this, but basically the guy had a social media presence too. Like, he was using these accounts to basically say things out loud at Bungie and at YouTube, saying like, oh.
So they found the moron.
The moron.
And I want to say the moron because anyone can make a mistake. Anyone can not know something about tech and like make a mistake. No, this guy was a complete idiot.
Yeah.
Because not only did he like create 2 new accounts on Gmail, because he used Gmail to email into YouTube. They're both owned by the same company, so it makes it easy to find the information. And did that 1 second difference between logging in and logging out. But one of the times that he sent a DMCA takedown, he accidentally sent it from a third email address, a Jacob Alvarez at gmail.com. And I assume detected his mistake because then he quickly switched over to his Reynolds CSC fake address, CSC being the company that Bungie uses to be able to find copyright infringement stuff and do their copyright takedowns for them. So he then sent the same takedown from his Reynolds CSC at Gmail account. So by then Google says, whoa, wait a minute. You need to prove who you are because we just got the same thing from 2 different accounts. So he chilled out on those and he went over to his other CSC account and continued to doing takedown accounts from there. What makes it interesting that he sent it from this Jacob Alvarez is because he registered his Destiny 2 account on Jacob A10million at gmail.com. At the same IP address, of course, because he's all using this from the same computer. Now, if this wasn't weird, everybody's like, well, why is he doing this? Well, because Destiny's already been having problems with this guy. This guy had his own YouTube channel. where he, in his own words, says things, because all that's left of his YouTube channel at Lord Nazu. By the way, be careful. There's a couple Lord Nazus out there. This guy is off the internet. Don't troll anyone. But the only thing left on his YouTube channel is the comments. And some of his comments from like 2 years ago, so before any of this started happening, I've successfully extended all tracks from the Shadowkeep soundtrack. Shadowkeep being a Destiny 2 expansion. So he's extended all tracks from the Shadowkeep soundtrack. The full playlist of extended tracks can be found here, my YouTube channel. It's ordered by track number. So what this mental nitwit was doing was ripping music tracks out of the game and putting them on YouTube and thinking he wasn't going to get copyright strikes. So
Bless his heart.
This digital gigantic brain of a man figures that maybe his work's too hard. That's why he ordered the physical copy of Destiny 2, The Witch Queen's original soundtrack. Because instead of ripping it from the game, he took it directly from the soundtrack that they sent to him and put on his YouTube channel. To which he got 28 DMCA takedowns extremely quickly. It took his channel down, and he freaks out and he's starting telling Destiny, "Oh my God, why did you take down my channel?" All this stuff. To which he hatched this brilliant plan. Gets better. As this is happening, he is doing the typical Twitter thing of making a Twitter post with a JPEG in it, with a vastly huge written thing in it of things like, by the way, I'm not the only one this is happening to. Who's affected? We all know that Biff's Dynasty video got hit with a copyright takedown for using assets from Destiny 2. It was restored shortly after. If Biff's video, which contained at least 90% assets, got hit by copyright takedown, then nothing's really safe at this point. He's saying these things as he's taking down his friends' video channels, because some of these people knew him and coordinated with him, right? So then the dust settles. Bungie says it wasn't us. It was, we're fixing everything. You're all going to have your channels again. To which, again, this gigantic intellect of a man posts on Twitter, "I just knew it wasn't you guys. I couldn't believe that you'd do this to us after 8 years. I'm so glad that I was right."
Oh my God.
This, not only was he basically taking revenge on Bungie for legitimately shutting down his channel through a third party, but then he was feeding the flames as he took everybody else down, and then jumping in on the bandwagon and praising everything and making sure his name's out there when everything gets fixed. So you know what? I'm personally glad that they're destroying them for $7.6 million, which includes not only the actual monetary damages from certain things, but it's actually defamation on top of everything else. And considering that part of defamation is that you have to show malicious intent, which does not mean mean. In that case, legally, it just means that that you're saying something that is untrue.
Yeah.
There is proof on the internet.
He knew,
dumb motherfucker
clearly knew what he was saying was untrue.
Yeah. Like I said, this thing was a soap opera.
This is the best part of the whole story, though, is that after he got hip, that he thought maybe someone was watching him. He then started using a VPN.
Way too late.
And they were like,
talking about VPNs expunge all your previous history.
Yeah.
So if you're out there and you're planning on doing something bad or nefarious or illegal on the internet, make sure to use a VPN after you've done it.
Yeah. So, and a disclaimer to anybody that may be listening, and a VPN is a great thing, and not just because of malicious activity. It's just about keeping your private information to yourself,
private bits
right?
private
From your internet service provider.
But being able to watch stuff other places.
Yeah,
also
like even zone locked and all that stuff, but region locked. The main thing I'm going to say though, we're not sponsored by VPN. I'm not going to go into that whole thing that most YouTube channels go into. But no, the one thing I will say is make sure that if you do choose to use a VPN, use a creditable source. Like look up the rating. If it says free, it's not free, and most likely they will turn your information over to the law any time of the day.
Yeah.
So
well, the law. Okay.
So, yeah. So just make sure that you actually choose a legit VPN.
I fought the law in the law.
And I don't even have to tell you. You can go search on the internet, like top 3. There's, like I said, most YouTube channels have one they announce like all the time. Like, go pick one that's good, but definitely don't use it after the fact.
One last thing. A lot of this, I went around and like I said, I went directly to his YouTube channel and I was looking up a lot of this stuff. But let me tell you, torrentfreak.com has a story on this that encapsulates most of it. And that's what got me started with looking this stuff up. And that story is fantastic. So if you want to look into this more, go check out torrentfreak.com for that particular story.
Cool.
One other, this will be a quicker callback, but do you remember that whole thing where we said, that I was completely mystified that there was like the most wish list item on Steam and I never effing heard of it. And none of the rest of us heard of it either, including Mike hadn't heard of it. And then he went and looked at it and goes, oh, I've got this wish list. Oh yeah, I have seen this before. Which was actually hilarious.
I mean, it's a game that I'm totally that type of game is what I'm
it was, yes,
it was. I have never. Oh yeah, I know I did wishlisted. Oh yeah.
This is 100% a Mike game, that's for sure. Because it was like an open world survival, and it has a little bit of MMO stuff in it. Well, they're interesting for a couple of reasons.
Oh yeah,
they released this wonderful thing, talking about how they kind of run their organization. And it starts all of a sudden to start sounding shady. Now, let me just quote this. There are 2 types of volunteers at F-Fantastic. Now I'm going to say F-Fantastic. I don't know if it's Funtastic.
So I watched the video and they say fantastic.
Yeah, I like F-Fantastic.
I like F-Fantastic too. Fucking tastic. Yeah.
Fucking tastic. They say there are 2 types of volunteers at F-Fantastic, full-time and part-time. Full-time volunteers work for salaries, and their number is limited. The list of required full-time volunteers is here, and that list is their open positions, the required ones that require.
There are none.
Part-time volunteers. Anyone can be a part-time volunteer to contribute to the F-Fantastic community and get cool rewards, participation certificates.
Are free codes. Are they toddlers playing soccer?
You would think.
Or, I'm sorry, football.
Yeah.
And free codes. Free codes. So part-time volunteering at F-Fantastic includes various activities ranging from translating to community moderating. Part-time volunteers also can offer their unique skills to improve our projects or create special new features. Now, now 2 things here. 1, you get free codes. That's right. If you're really good as a part-time volunteer doing a whole bunch of localization for them, which is an extremely complex and specialized task, you too can get a free code and all of a sudden can become a part-time volunteer being their new QA person.
So Bruno, what do you think about this story?
It's really great. It's really great, honestly. It's like it's one of those, like maybe once a year there's like a feel-good story where like you're like, oh man, everything seems so dark and sad, but this one story, it just like really warmed my heart. Yeah, this one is not fucking that story. No, this one's one of those ones where
is fucking that story
you hear
in a bad way.
You hear that there's a fucking company paying 40 plus people in exposure bucks, and then they have the audacity,
Yes.
not to even do this. It's so much more, right?
Oh,
because
my God.
I almost have more respect for companies that do this shit, but then don't talk about it. But this company did it, and then they advertised it like it was like a great thing. Like they themselves put a face to the leadership of the company, and they were like, "Look at this, guys! We're paying people in exposure. Isn't that cool? Aren't we
clear?
hip?"
to be clear, what I quoted was from their website.
Yeah. I know there's a video. I actually downloaded it in case they ever delete it from the internet. It's already unlisted, but just in case, to make sure that it lives on forever.
Yeah, they said, if you volunteer to do a job, you're in heaven. But if you don't volunteer and have to do a job, you're in hell. And I'm like,
that wasn't exactly what this. It was it was when you do a job that you love, you're in heaven. But when you do a job that you hate, you're in hell.
This actually pisses me off even more because they're so fucking lazy. They literally just ripped off an already like age-old famous saying of if you do something you love, you never work a day.
Yes.
And then they were like, you know what? We're so cheap and so shitty that we're actually just going to change the words to make it look like we did something ourselves, which as we can see, they don't do anything themselves. I have no faith in this game because
it gets deeper.
Same.
Because I started looking into some stuff again, based off of reading some things. And it kind of like, I was like, oh, I want to find out for myself. So I look into things and I'm like, oh, here's their like trailer that they released in, I believe it was like, early 2020 it was, I think it was like early 2020 or 2021. And I was like, oh man, it's really hard to I wanted to zoom in on something. I was like, oh, of course it's 1080. Of course I can't see it too well. Right. And then I see that their recent trailer that they put out is like, oh, we're moving to, as we had reported, they're moving to Unreal 5. And that's why they're delaying. Mm-hmm. Right. And they said, oh, and here's our new 4K trailer in Unreal 5. And I looked at the trailer. It was the exact same trailer, beat for beat. And it was the one just released, I think, Summer Game Fest or right around that time. So it was like just released 4K. Here's our Unreal 5 assets. And not only beat for beat, I mean, the part that was blurry that I was trying to, like zoom in and look a little bit closer to, I cut it out of their 4K video. It was just as blurry as the 1080p. Like it wasn't even up-resed. It wasn't actually 4K.
4K.
That's what I'm talking about. This is the future of the gaming industry.
Well, and it's because people are like, hey, okay, don't get me wrong. A lot of people put the fake iPhone store in their game, right? And they absolutely have that. Like it has the wooden tables with the iPhone every 6 feet type thing. It's like, it's an iPhone store. There's no mistaking it. But
iPhone or Apple store.
Apple store, whatever, the same thing. So, but they also have this movie theater.
Oh my God.
World. Why do you say, oh my God, there?
Does that look like Macy's to you?
or does it look like the real world Cineworld? Oops, hold on. Hit the wrong button. The real world Cineworld. Oh, I do have to switch back. Which has the exact same star.
Wow.
That they now
Cinema World or Cineworld. Oh, that's messed up.
Also, it's very funny
to see what those trailers are back there or the posters.
That's what I was trying to zoom in on. So that's how I know that pixel for pixel it was the same as the 1080. Because I was zooming in on those textures and I was looking at, and I was actually figuring out some of the titles and I was trying to see the pictures.
Well, they can't not that I'm into them, but like, there's always a rom-com poster. Like, come on, man, those all look like horror movies.
Yeah,
during a pandemic.
Actually, the white one there
only showing those movies.
The really bright white one there is two shoes, and the red word above it says "woman," and it's. I was trying to make out the title. No, it was something like it was like
shoes.
It was like If You Were a Woman or something like that was the title. I'll have to show it to you and see if you can figure it out.
So, Brian, this sounds
off to the side that you can't see. It also says PMax.
So this sounds great. I'm intrigued.
Yes.
I want to become a full-time employee of this company. How do I do that? If I go to their website, can I apply?
Well, yeah, you can. I was just a moment ago saying that it says under the full-time volunteers, the required positions here, and you click on here, that's actually their open positions, which are none right now.
Mm-hmm.
There's your theater PMEX.
You can only apply for the volunteer positions.
The part-time. They're all volunteer positions.
Yeah,
you can only apply for the part-time volunteers.
I'm sorry. You're right.
Some volunteers that are full-time get paid, apparently.
Yikes.
Somehow.
Yikes.
No, this whole thing's yikes. I am eagerly awaiting the possible train wreck that's coming up.
Did we learn nothing from Cyberpunk 2077?
Well, no, and the last thing I'm going to say is literally that, what Kelly just said. Obviously, just wait. Just wait till it comes out, read the reviews, see if you want to buy it, and then go for it. I mean, this isn't Bethesda. Yeah. This isn't CD Projekt Red. This is a company who made a spinoff of a game, or not a spinoff, made a game that's basically a clone of another game, Prop Hunt. So like
they have less than 100 employees.
Yeah, this is not a reputable company or anything like that. And the game is like drastically different than their Prop Hunt game. So there's a lot to promise there. I'll have to say. On that note, give us a few minutes. We'll take a listen to a word from our sponsor, and we'll be back after the break. And we're back. So there was a topic I kind of wanted to talk to you guys about because it came up during family vacation I had recently. I actually took time off to hang out with my family and do things like a family. It's weird.
Weird.
Actually, not just my family, household family, but also like my other family, like cousins and all that stuff. So it was fun. So we all basically rented a house, like an Airbnb or whatever, and hung out there for like a week. And these are people that, like, I would say aren't typically my inner circle of type of friends. Like, they have their own interest. I have mine. They obviously know I'm into gaming and a bunch of stuff. So usually I'm the guy they tell me like, hey, are you bringing, games? And I'm like, yeah, because that's me. I'm going to bring not just like a game. I'm going to bring like a bag or two of games that I feel like would be fun to play. And usually there's only like one of them that they want to play because, I mean, I get it. But a question came up to me because there's one game in my library that seems to be the game that we always go to. So I guess the question out loud is there a game that you would consider like your go-to game for like either new people or just like people who aren't really into gaming and all that fun stuff? And that's the question. I'm going to start it off. But so the game that I see, it seems to be our big choice. And it's just like people who don't necessarily game a lot. They always come to the same thing. They're always like, we want to play Salem. So Salem is a game made by, I think it's Farce Games, something like that. A little book. But it's basically based on the Salem witch trials. And this is actually the Kickstarter version, I believe.
Yes,
that's a really great box.
Yeah, you can't really get this one anymore. It's the newer ones are all their games come in books, which is really neat. But this one's cool. It's like larger for the newer ones. Anyway, It's a card game, and what it is it's a trader style game. And in this sense, since it's based on the Salem witch trials, there's a witch.
Yeah.
That's in the mix. And basically you can play up to, I think, like 8 players or so.
Yeah, if it wasn't clear, he was saying traitor, not trader, kind of like werewolf. There's a traitor in your midst.
Yes. So in this game, it's all card sense based. So it's not like a werewolf game where you're kind of just talking out loud and trying to role play out loud. So there are cards involved. And when you start the game, this is one of the type of games where there is going to be a witch. So this is not one of the ones where it may not have a witch and everybody's thinking there's a witch. Like there's going to be a witch. Depending on how many players you have, you may have multiple witches. But usually you at least start off with at least one. And the way the gameplay is it's kind of based on like just throwing accusations is what they call it. But basically you get to a point and you're like, you're a witch. Like, I think Brian's a witch. So here's a card that says accusation. and I'm going to throw it on you. And if I give him, or if anybody gives him 7 accusations, then he has to reveal one of his cards that either show that he's a witch or not. He gets to pick depending on the player that he is, the character, without getting too involved. But that's the way the game goes. So it goes around the table, and I have a deck in my, like a card deck in my hand, and I start throwing accusations. I say he's a witch, Kelly's a witch, everybody's throwing witch things on me, and eventually someone has to reveal, and we're like, oh, that person's not it. Dang, we didn't get the witch. But each night, there's a night phase where everyone has to close their eyes, and the witch has a moment to pick someone to kill. And they can do that by placing a kill token in front of that player. And during that time,
super quiet and super quiet.
So we actually have rules for that, because we have to do, we say one hand has to make a tapping noise on the table, while the other hand, if you're using that hand, if you're the witch, you can move the token. So that way everyone knows the constant movement, but if you're the witch, you can move the token. It's trying to be a little easier with that. Plus, there's actually an app you can play that actually makes noise and all that fun stuff. But so that happens. The night phase happens. The witches or witch chooses a player to kill. Then if you're playing with the constable, basically they can try to save somebody. So there's a phase in the night where they open their eyes, and they just choose somebody at random to save. So it could just be someone they feel closer to or whatever.
And they don't know that that's the person that's going to get killed.
Yeah, they don't know. They just place the token and hope, whatever. And it could even get more mischievous than this, is that you have a witch who is also the constable. Because then the witch can place the constable and save thing and really just jack the game up, because you like, oh, well, this person got saved, so maybe... Oh, it's terrible.
Mm-hmm.
So what happens is everybody wakes up, and then you have a moment, 30 seconds, to decide whether or not you want to confess your sins to basically get a free pass this round. And then once that free pass is over...
that's 30 seconds isn't...
Well, do you want to reveal that you're not a witch to stay alive? Or if you get the kill token, you're dead. When 30 seconds is up, everybody flips their kill token, and if it's solid black, you're fine. But if it says kill, you're dead, unless you've saved yourself. So it's a really fun game like this, because you have this sense of, who to trust. But during the game too, the way that other people become witches, there's a point where everybody switches one card of their cards. So the witch card may move to other players. And if that happens, the other people become witches too. So once you're a witch, you're always a witch. So it's constantly like, is that person a witch? Are they all witches now? And then everybody's kind of like, no, you're a witch. I think you're a witch. And they're all throwing cards, and then there's other cards. And it seemed to be a fun game that, from what I've seen, is even family members and like just friends of mine that aren't really into card games or even into tabletop or any sort of board games. Once I've got them sat down and they start playing the game and the rounds start going, you can tell they get into it, because they're like, oh my God, like accusation, you're a witch. And it's like, and then now it's to the point where they're like, we got to play this. Make sure to bring that. So my game is Salem, and I really enjoy it. And it's definitely one of the ones that I always bring.
So I have a best game and a favorite game.
Oh God, Mike, your turn was already done. We moved on to Kelly.
Are you guys trolling me? What is happening right now?
Maybe a little bit. So I couldn't decide, so I pulled a Mike, and I guess technically I really couldn't decide, because I didn't just pick 2; I picked 3. I know if you don't know Cards Against Humanity, and I bring this up all the time with people, and they're like, no, I've never played that game. And I'm like, are you for real? You've never played Cards Against Humanity. So Cards Against Humanity is a game where everybody gets a deck of 8 cards, and they all have a saying on them. And it's always something politically incorrect. Then there's one person who gets to put down a black card. So all the other cards are white. Put down a black card, and the black card is something that the next person has to fill in. So everybody says, oh, well, this black card, what I think the funniest thing, and that the person who just chose that, or the dealer, will think is the best match with this card is this. So they get all of them and they put them all down, they say them, and they choose one, and that person is the winner of that round. And then they go around the deck. Hysterical game. I was talking to one of my good friends tonight, and he said that his mom, who is very prudish, actually played the game and was like kind of like giggling, but still had a good. He's like, I didn't think she was gonna like actually play it, but she had a good time.
I wouldn't be. I would be the person that could not wait until she drew the card that says that you're balls deep in a squealing pig riding off into the sunset, and having her say that, or like having her be the dealer. The one who has to say all of them and has to say it. And yes, that'd be hilarious.
She's giggling.
That would be like,
yes,
best part
for
of the
sure. Yeah. And then they have to pick the one, and you got to pick the ones.
Because you know she'd pick that one. She'd be like, that's the funniest one right there.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's my go-to game when people come over, if I know my audience. If I don't necessarily know my audience, the other one that's very similar is, what do you mean? And you get a deck of cards that look like memes. Guess I'll die, or just whatever. And a big deck of little cards that say something to the effect of the game. So to the cards. So this one is like, when you're half asleep at your homie's house and hear, let's draw a dick on their face. Guess I'll die. So you get to pick, same thing. You're the dealer. You get to pick, the funniest thing, and then that person wins. So I guess this is the wrong card to choose, but it's less offensive. It's much more politically correct than Cards Against Humanity. The least offensive game that is my favorite or the best game is Left, Right, Center. Super, super simple, super easy. I've played this with people that don't speak English. We've got some great friends from Brazil, and we all got together to play this game. So you've got 3 dice. Each dice has a C for center, L for left, or nothing, a dot for nothing, an R for right, and then you get these tokens. Don't play with these tokens. Play with actual money, because that's way more fun.
Whoa! No, you can't do that. That's illegal.
Give everybody a couple bucks, sit around a table, and roll these dice. And if you get, let's say, a left, and a nothing, that means you pass $2 to the person to your left, and nothing else happens. If you get a left, right, center, you put $1 in the center, pass $1 to the right, pass $1 to the left. If you have no money, you are not out. You can still be part of the game if the person next to you rolls the dice and has to pass $1 to you. In which case, so let's say you only have $1 left. You would only roll 1 dice. So the game plays until there's 1 person left and you get all of the money. So one of my very, very favorite games to play, especially with ultra, like, competitive people. Definitely play this game. It's super, super fun, and it's great with kids too. So we play with chips with the kids, and then when they go to bed, we start playing with dollars.
Illegal.
It's totally illegal. Don't play that. Play with the chips. You'll be fine. It'll be just as fun.
Totally chips.
Well, I mean, my go-to nowadays, because I was very much the person who walked in with games. I've walked into places with 3 and 4 consoles and all the controllers and games for all the consoles and set up an entire game day. But nowadays, especially like Kelly says, when I don't know my audience, it's just Jackbox. Period.
Jackbox is so great.
And it's not a particular Jackbox. I have all of them. So I can just walk in with my laptop and hook it up to an HDMI to a TV.
Humble brag.
They're not that expensive. Jeez.
That was like a subtle flex. Was that like a subtle flex? I think it was.
No, there was no flex.
That's
not that hard.
I'm just giving you a hard time.
All of them.
Weird flex, but okay.
The subtle the humble flex was like talking about multiple consoles walking in. You guys missed your chance there. I'm sorry, you were too late. No, I like it because you got anywhere from like just standard trivia games to crazy weird trivia games to games where you're supposed to lie and make everybody believe you. And they can get quite complex. Some of the games. My favorite is the drawing games because the nice thing about Jackbox is everybody plays on their cell phone.
I hate the drawing games so much, but
that's the point.
No, it's because of who I'm married to. Okay, well, it's not the same. Because you're like, oh yeah, it's on a phone, so it's like super hard. And then she's like, oh yeah, it didn't come out too good. And I'm like,
it's like the Rembrandt.
That's like
what is this? Like everybody else drew stick figures, and you drew like an entire scene. Is that animated? I didn't even know this could be animated.
Is this a GIF?
I thought it was black and white. How did you get colors? Where you got chartreuse in there? What the fuck?
Although you can do colors in their drawing games.
Yeah, you can. Yes. Yeah.
But that's actually a common thing people will say. People are like, where were the colors? I didn't see. Anyway, Bruno.
Our go-to has always been, for the longest time, since we've been together, essentially, we bought this game that we played with some friends called Funemployed.
It is fun being employed. That is true.
Which, anytime we bring up the game, I'm showing it, but it's just a card game. Anytime we bring it up, the premise of it, people are like, ooh. It is, you play with a group of friends, one person is the interviewer, and everybody else is interviewing for the job. Everybody, there's a stack of cards. Somebody pulls a card. It has the job on it. So the interviewer pulls a card, has the job on it, and then everybody else gets 4 cards, and then they have to formulate they have to figure out a way to interview for this job and have the best interview possible. And then the interviewer gets to choose who wins, whether the person who's actually most qualified, or the person who was the funniest, or the person who was the stupidest. It's up to them. And whoever wins then takes on the part of like being the interviewer. And it's like super simple. What we did is we actually changed the rules, because the rules are you get to see your cards, and we're like, no, that's too easy. So you don't get to see your cards beforehand. You have to choose them. And the rounds are super quick, so I can literally show you. It literally goes like this. So you have these cards, right? So like, for example, a job of a superhero. Mm-hmm. And then an interviewer just pulls the top card, and then everybody else gets 4 cards. We actually throw in a Cards Against Humanity card as the 4th card a lot of the time. But I'll just grab 4 qualification cards. So, like, for example, if I was the interviewer, I would be like, welcome everybody to this interview. We're really excited to have you. You can put on a character for me. I'd be like, so glad that so many of you could make it. Today we're interviewing for the position of televangelist. And then the other person who has their 4 cards would be like, okay, like the interviewer would be like, oh, okay, so why are you the most qualified? And the person would be like, yeah, so I'm Charles, and I think I would be the most best option absolutely for this job, because I'm really, I have the Holy Grail, which is one of my cards. So I have the Holy Grail, so I'm already set, right? You cannot beat a televangelist that has the Holy Grail on their side. I mean, come on. Also, I'm unstable, which is really required for a televangelist. I mean, have you seen
drama?
All the other successful televangelists? Additionally, I'm soulless. I'm soulless. So, like, what more could you ask for? I'm a televangelist with the Holy Grail, and I'm soulless. I have God on my side, and I'm soulless, and I'm unstable. I've got all the qualifications, and I'm part of the 1%. Because how else do you buy the fucking Holy Grail? You just don't. There's no other way. So that's why I'm most qualified for the job. And then other people will go, and the person who is interviewing the person who's interviewing them for the job can choose.
So
that is amazing.
This really reminds me of another Kickstarter that actually I think it was on GameFound, not Kickstarter. GameFound is the new one, but it's called Master Dater.
Yes, we talked about this.
It's right up Day Drinker's alley because you got the judge who has these qualification cards of who they want to date, and the cards are like, this is the trait, and there are different types of traits. They have different genres that they fit in, kind of, and then the people who are trying to date them put down a body and a head, so it could be like a dog head on a bodybuilder's body. And then they have to say that how they are the perfect person for them and how they match their qualifications. So there's a lot of similarities there.
It's fantastic. It's a really good game to play. Like, it can be pretty innocent, and sometimes it isn't. We played it with my niece, who was 11 at the time. Her mother was like, "No, it's cool. It's totally fine." And we were interviewing for the part of school nurse, and she gets the card polygamist.
Oh, God.
She's 11, and this is just to show you how Zoomers are these days. She goes, also, I'm a polygamist, which means that if something happens to one of my loved ones or at home, I have a whole nother significant other to take care of it, so I don't have to miss work. And I was like,
oh, my gosh.
Did this 11-year-old just trash all of us? With polygamist as a qualification?
Just put the game away. Okay,
I was like, are you kidding me? And she's like, so yeah, I mean, why wouldn't you hire me?
That is genius.
I was like, yo, if she doesn't win, I'm actually going to be kind of mad.
I would be too.
I got nothing. Like, she's sitting there with like polygamist, and I'm like, how do you fit? Oh, I guess that's, yeah. No, that works.
Yeah, well, totally does.
So there you go.
Genius.
It's amazing.
So good.
Well, that wraps up our episode for the day. Thank you guys for watching and hanging out with us. Make sure to always click the like and subscribe and the bell and all that fun stuff. Tell your friends, really. Just spread our seed everywhere for all of your friends. That would be great. See, I love that. I love the expressions that he gives me sometimes. It's so fantastic. But yeah. That is what got our attention this week. Check out our website, sassgaming.com. You can also check out our Patreon, patreon.com/sassgaming as well. We actually have a TikTok now.
Yeah.
I feel like I had to mention that. I don't know. I was indifferent, and now we have one, and now it's a thing. So check out us on TikTok. It's tiktok.com/sassgamers, just like it is on Twitter and I think Twitch as well. So, yeah, that's pretty much it for this week. And until next time, you guys take it easy. See ya.